welcome to another episode of Friend Outdoors.
On today's episode, Mark and Walter are set up on the edge of a field that Walter's been hunting at and hearing a few gobblers. But the night before this hunt takes place, a storm front has moved through the area, and with heavy rains and cooler temperatures, the guys aren't sure if the gobblers will be vocal. Walter moves in at daylight and sets up the blind and gets the decoy set out. But Mark joins him around 8 a.m. because he's had to work midnights. When Mark arrives, the guys are able to get a hen turkey fired up. As she calls, eventually a gobbler sounds off. As the guys begin to work the gobbler, he begins to get more excited and gobbles more and answers. Eventually, the tom starts to head their way. Here's what happens. It rained pretty hard last night, so we come in here this morning. We've heard some birds in here, and well, I had to work, so we didn't get here till about 8 o'clock. So we set the decoys out. Did some calling. It was probably half hour, 45 minutes. We heard him gobbling over this way, and he started gobbling more and more. So I called a couple hens in from this direction that was alone. They milled out to this field, and the one started coming right into us. And it probably took half hour, 45 minutes to get him to commit and come. And he come through a field over here you can't see. He come into the opening right there, and he saw this real hen with the decoys, and she was right in amongst them moving around. And you see he broke down and come right in. He's a pretty good bird. He's probably got an inch spur, inch and an eighth. Maybe a 10-inch beard, 10-inch beard. So, pretty exciting. I didn't know if we'd hear anything this morning or not, but he come right in. We got her done. So today we tried for the first time. We'll see how it turned out. We put this GoPro camera on the gun. My brother told me to use it right before we left. We actually put it on there and gave it a try, so we'll see what it looks like. So we're experimenting with some new things, new toys, see how we like it and how it turns out. So we'll check it out, and good luck to you guys. We hope you enjoyed today's episode of Friend Outdoor Adventures. Here's a quick recap of this hunt. On this particular hunt, on this morning, I had just worked midnights. So Dad had went out to this field and he'd set the blind up again in the dark, got some decoys set out, and he told me where he was going to be. So I got off work, I come home, I changed, I drove out there in the truck. When I got close, I got parked and got close, I texted him and I was like, hey, is it safe to come in or do you have something in the field? He told me to come on in. As I got there, he said he'd been hearing one gobbling a couple hundred yards away, but he really hadn't showed any interest yet of coming. So as I climbed into the blind, we got set up, got ready. I decided, or Dad had decided that I was going to do the shooting. So I sit there and started making some calls. Well, this field is shaped like a T, and we're at the base of the T, so the field come out and it goes both ways. Well, the bird was gobbling in the field in the direction that I'd come in. A road comes through this field, and he was out there right where I drove through. So I'd sit there and made some calls. He began to answer, and I could tell he was on his way in our direction. So I got quiet for a little bit. Then he gobbled again, and he was coming into the field that we were set up on. As soon as he come into that field, he could see the decoys, and he was heading in our direction. But one other big thing that happened, a real hen come in from behind us and was out in the decoys, and she was calling, and she was moving around. I knew right then the game was over, because you got a live hen out there moving around. She had no clue we was there. She didn't care, and he saw her moving with those decoys. He was on the way. So there's a little bit of a saddle in the field, as you saw when he went down in it. It was hard to see, and the camera tries to zoom in on the grass because we was on autofocus. So I regret that. But once he come up that bank and the camera could kind of focus on him again, the footage got better. So we want to apologize for that. But when he got up there and got pretty much into range, and Dad said he had him pretty good, so I took the shot and the bird went down. So it was a pretty exciting hunt. I was glad to be able to get in there and do that, especially after working midnights. And it had rained all that night at work. Guys were telling me it was raining outside, so I didn't have a lot of hope. But that storm front had moved on, and the birds did begin to gobble. So you never know when they're going to gobble. That high and low pressure does affect them. But it was a great hunt. I had a lot of fun. Captured memories on film. It's great. You can always go back and watch. We want to thank you for watching. We really appreciate it. Hey, if you did enjoy this, please hit that like button, that thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button. We really appreciate it. Got any comments, leave them below. We'll try to answer them. Also on this channel, we got a shorts tab. Click on that. We got a lot of shorts on there. 15 seconds, most of them. There's a few a little longer. Also, we think you'll really enjoy it. A lot of different animals on there. We want to thank our military personnel again. Thank you for your service. Now for a preview of our next episode of Friend Outdoor Adventures.